Hey guys, and welcome to my new series, Let's Play Dark Souls. Now, I know a lot of you might be thinking, Green, this is a really old game, and the sequel just came out, so what the fuck are you doing? Well, here's the thing. The sequel's not out for the PC yet, and I know that I'm in the situation where I'm avoiding all of these Dark Souls 2 playthroughs because I don't want to have the game spoiled for me, and I've actually been playing through the first game again to tide myself over, and I got kind of obsessed with it and had a lot of fun with it, and I was thinking, you know what, it would be fun to do a little, like, retrospective Let's Play of Dark Souls while we're all waiting for Dark Souls 2 to come out. Now we can watch some Dark Souls, we don't have to worry about spoilers, we can just enjoy the first game, enjoy the reason we're so excited about Dark Souls 2. So let's get started here with a new game. And I'm gonna name myself Green 9090, because that's my name. I have to press enter, right? And we're going to be male, and we're going to be a Pyromancer, because Pyromancer is the only class that starts at level 1, so you can fully customize yourself, and you also get a sweet fireball spell to start off with, even if you're going to build somewhere else. You don't need any stats to use it, just a handy extra. We're going to pick up the Master Key, which allows us to get to some places that we wouldn't otherwise be able to go to. I'm going to try to play through this fairly fast. It's not going to be an extended Let's Play. I'm going to try to get through the game pretty much as quickly as I can. So the Master Key is going to help us by allowing us to skip some more annoying areas. Let's just, you know what, I like Tiny Head build. It's just funny. I like it. We're going to go Tiny Head. I could customize my face to make it look really silly, but I'm not going to do that. We're going to go with a commoner. And I do like the wild hair because it most resembles the hair I have in real life. And the color is going to be like light brown. And that's going to be me. That's as close as I can get to myself without doing some extended, like, facial stuff. It takes a long time to customize your faces, which is why I'm trying to avoid it. So we're just going to start the game with this Pyromancer, and I'll shut up during the opening cutscene because this is real good. Actually, I'm going to have to cut out the opening cutscene because it turns out that that gets copyright ID matched if you put it on YouTube. So look it up. I'm sure you can find a video that has it in it. Go do that if you haven't seen it before, and then come back, because I'm going to be talking about the opening cutscene after this, and you will be confused if you don't do that. So sorry about that. Nothing I can do. God, that's a good opening cutscene, and here's the reason it's so good. Because if this is your first time seeing Dark Souls, somehow, I know a lot of people have seen it already, but if this is your first exposure to Dark Souls, you're going to be like, okay, that was really badass, I'm into it, I have no idea what the fuck just happened. And then, if you go back after already beating the game and watch it again, or after, you know, studying the lore a bit, then every time you watch it, it's going to mean more and more to you. It's going to become more and more interesting. So I just skipped a bunch of tutorials on movement and stuff because I already know how to move. But that's what all those little messages on the ground are. Rest at bonfire, recover HP. And here's our mechanic for basically a save point in the game. We're going to sit down in this bonfire. And when we get back up, if we die for any reason, which hopefully we won't do here, then we'll end up back at the, what am I doing? It's the wrong door. Then we'll end up back at that bonfire. So that's how Dark Souls kind of introduces you to the game. It gives you a bunch of, like, here's how you walk around, and it puts a broken sword in your hand, and that's the whole thing. And then you come in here, and a big demon fucking attacks you, and I'll show you guys what happens if you try to fight the demon. It's not a good idea. I'm gonna do 3 damage to him by hitting it with my sword. I know how to roll from the tutorial, and that's pretty much all the game gives you. And then it just puts you in combat with this giant demon. It's like, this is what kind of game this is gonna be. You're gonna fight a big fucking demon, and you're gonna die a lot. Because your first time through the game, you're just gonna be like, okay, how the fuck do I kill this thing? But you can't actually kill it. You can kill it. Oh, I meant to oh, we're gonna make it. Ah, so close. I tried to get away to go where I was supposed to go. There's our first death in Dark Souls. Get used to it. I'm probably gonna die quite a bit. Not as much as somebody new at the game, but still, the game is difficult enough that I'm gonna get into situations where I die when I didn't intend to. That time, I was pretty sure I was just going to die to this asshole demon. But what you're actually supposed to figure out after a little while is there's this door over here that opens, and you can just walk through that and run away from the demon and continue on this way. But I really like the intro to the game in that it's just like, alright, here's Dark Souls, motherfucker. You think you know how to move? You think you know the controls? Well, here's a big fucking demon. You don't know shit, and you're gonna die a lot. So the game's going to give us our first shield here. I'm going to equip it in our left hand, and now we can block with our LB, and this guy's arrows are not going to affect us anymore. And then we can pick up this hand axe, which is a real weapon. If we had had this against the first boss, then I would actually have a pretty good chance of killing it, even though we don't have a way to heal yet, just because it's not a particularly difficult demon. But now we have the ability to do damage to things, which is a big deal. And we've also, you know, kind of coincidentally, or not coincidentally, but incidentally learned how to... by the way, we're back to our first bonfire now. I've just opened a secret passageway. We've incidentally learned how to equip weapons, which is another part of the tutorial. Really well done tutorial. It doesn't really make you feel like it's tutorializing as much as some games. I'm gonna find this dead guy.
You.
Almost dead.
You're no hollow. Thank goodness. I'm done for, I'm afraid. I'll die soon, then lose my sanity. I wish to ask something of you. You and I are both undead. Hear me out, will you? Regrettably, I have failed in my mission, but perhaps you can keep the torch lit. There is an old saying in my family. Thou who art undead art chosen, and thine exodus from the undead asylum maketh pilgrimage to the land of ancient lords. When thou ringeth the bell of awakening, the fate of the undead thou shalt know. Well, now you know, and I can die with hope in my heart. Oh, one more thing. Here, take this. An Estus flask, an undead favorite. Oh, and this. Now I must bid farewell. I would hate to harm you after death. So go now, and thank you.
Alright, so that's just a random knight who's having a bad day, and he has given us our mechanism for healing. Now I can press the X button on my controller to heal up, and, well, I say X button on my controller, I'm actually using a PS3 controller, but this game uses Xbox notation, so I just use them as well. But that allows us to heal up some health, but you have to stand still to use it, so it's not like a, you know, a cure-all or anything. It's not like I can just pause and select Estus Flask like this is Skyrim or something. You actually have to work at healing. By the way, we've just picked up a Pyromancy Flame now, so now I can switch my weapon and throw fireballs at things because we are a Pyromancer. Other classes would not find that there. I think the Sorcerer might find a Catalyst there so that he can cast magic, but I'm not sure. And similarly, the Cleric might find the Canvas Talisman there, but they also might just start with it in their inventory, I'm not sure. But Pyromancer Flame, super useful early game especially. But you can use it all the way to the end game if you upgrade it and stuff. Actually, there's no reason to go that way, so let's not. But early game, you know, it doesn't scale with anything, so this Fireball is going to be especially powerful compared to other magics and things we could be using. And here's the fucking demon again, but now we have all we need to conquer him. We have a good weapon, we have an ability to heal. So we're just going to basically wail on his butt, and it's going to be no problem. He's going to try to slam me under his butt, but you know what? I'm just going to throw a fireball at you, fucking asshole. How do you like that? Yeah, probably not very much. Uh-oh. I didn't know that was a three-part combo. But he's dead anyway. And now we'll use an Estus Flask to heal up. And we'll get the big Pilgrim's Key, which allows us to get out of this room, and we can go back to this bonfire, which we might as well do really quick before we leave. Actually, I was thinking of when we're here later, I was going to be like, because there's a bunch of enemies out here. There's no enemies out here. I'm just lying to you guys because that's the kind of asshole I am. But anyway, that is the end of the tutorial of Dark Souls, and now we'll go into Lordran and figure things out from there, you know, get into the actual game. So the tutorial is, here's a big-ass fucking demon, figure out the combat, motherfucker. And let me tell you, that guy is not easy. If you've never played Dark Souls before, it's not the most forgiving tutorial. By the way, I've gone left. That's a common NLSS Dark Souls meme, because when Jay Smith was first playing this game, everybody was shouting out to go left, and none of us knew there was a soul item down there. So we spent like probably a good 10 minutes in this area trying to go left.
Legends, it is stated, that one day an undead shall be chosen. To leave the Undead Asylum in pilgrimage to the land of the ancient lords. Lordran.
And here we are. And that's going to be the end of kind of exposition. Well, I mean, that's not true. We can talk to this guy.
Well, what do we have here? You must be a new arrival. Let me guess. Fate of the undead, right? Well, you're not the first. But there's no salvation here. You'd have done better to rot in the Undead Asylum. But too late now. Well, since you're here, let me help you out. There are, actually, 2 bells of awakening. One's up above in the Undead Church. The other is far, far below, in the ruins at the base of Blight Town. Ring them both, and something happens. Brilliant, right? Not much to go on, but I have a feeling that won't stop you. So, off you go. It is why you came, isn't it? To this accursed land of the undead?
By the way, every NPC will end every sentence they say in creepy laughter. That's just kind of the motif of Dark Souls. Actually, I meant to level up here, so let's not get back up. But we're going to use these souls that we have from killing that demon. The souls are basically both currency and experience in Dark Souls, if you're not familiar. So you can see it takes 673 levels to get our first level, or souls, sorry, to get our first level. And I'm going to put as many points as I can into Faith, because I'm going to want to do a Faith build this time, and I want to be able to cast some miracles basically as soon as possible. So it's going to help me out to level up my Faith quickly. You know, if I was newer, I would probably want to get some vitality and endurance so that I was harder to kill, but that's not an issue right now. And now also, I'm going the totally wrong way, because there is a pretty valuable thing down here that I can get just by rushing that I'm interested in picking up. So we're going to do that by heading down this elevator, and we'll be going down to New Londo. And by the way, you know, we've seen a lot of evidence of lore so far, but very little actual lore. Like, if you're new to Dark Souls, you probably have no idea what the fuck is going on, if I'm correct. And that's kind of intentional, and also a really awesome part of Dark Souls, is that you kind of have to figure out the lore by yourself. But I will, like, in this playthrough, kind of try to talk a little bit about the lore of what's going on. I don't know everything, but I know a little bit of the lore, and I know what all of the opening cutscene was about, but, you know, there's a lot to go on there. So when we start going to areas that we're supposed to go to, and getting to, you know, named NPCs and things, I'll try to let you guys know what the deal lore-wise is with that. But right now we're in New Londo, which is a city, a human city, that kind of went to shit a little bit, and we'll see in a little bit that there are a bunch of ghosts here now. And also that this entire area was flooded to try to keep the abyss out, I believe. I forget exactly. This way. Got a little bit lost there. Uh-oh. Okay, we need to definitely get over here before the ghosts come. Excellent. Okay, so we've got our Firekeeper soul, and now we are super fucked because these ghosts are immune to being attacked by us because we haven't used a transient curse, and only, like, the ghosts are cursed, and that means they operate on a slightly different plane of existence from us. So they can still harm us, but we can't touch them at all. Either to block with our shield or to attack with our weapon, unless we too are cursed. And that's what the transient curse is for, that we just picked up on our way in there. But I didn't want to waste any of those because we're still not in any situation to fight a ghost, even if we can touch them. We're going to talk to this Firekeeper and use the Firekeeper soul that we got to reinforce our Estus flasks. And now, as you can see in the bottom left, we have an Estus flask +1, which means they just heal a little bit more. So it's really nice to go down there before you have anything to your name. You know, basically I just lost the tiniest little bit of souls going down there, which is totally an acceptable loss for early in the game. For any part of the game, really. It was we lost essentially nothing and got a good thing out of it. Let's see, there's a thing over here. I'm just going to try to pick up our starting items as quickly as possible so that we can get going. There are a couple of weapons that I want. I'm not sure exactly what weapon I'm going to use for this playthrough. I'm making a faith build. I want to make an occult weapon, and I'm not sure. In the past, I've used a divine Uchigatana, and that was a lot of fun. So let me know in the comments if you have a specific weapon that you think it would be cool if I used, and I will consider, you know, going down that path. I just don't know what good weapons are. I want to probably keep myself mostly faith-based, not get a bunch of strength and dexterity to wield something, or try to work on, like, going with any scaling. By the way, this is a bad place to go if this is your first time in Dark Souls. These skeletons will totally end your shit, but there's a bunch of items down here that I'm just going to run around and pick up before we get going. Uh-oh. That hurt. But here's our winged spear, and down here is the main thing that we want. Spyhonder is a really good sword that I'm considering using. It's kind of considered to be one of the best weapons in the game, to the point where it's probably a little bit overpowered. And making an occult Spyhonder would be obviously really good. So it's definitely something on my radar. So we got our first run of stuff down there. I also kind of want to go back there one more time because there's a shield that's the other way that we didn't pick up that time, because it's nearly impossible to keep the skeletons off of you for that long. Basically, you run to one dead end, and then when you try to run back, the skeletons will eat you alive. And that's just kind of the reality we're dealing with here. But I'm going to head down this way this time and try to pick up that, what is it called? Like a Caduceus round shield or something? Yeah, it is. Caduceus, whatever. And that's that. And then, is there anything else we want down here? Some people like to come down here and go all the way into the catacombs, which we're about to enter, and I guess I'll try to do that. But it's real hard. I don't know exactly the sequence of cliffs that you have to jump off of to make this path work. So, you know what? I probably shouldn't be down here. But, you know, I'll show a little bit anyway. So what you're supposed to do is come down here, and then there's a boss to fight down here that gives you an ability. But again, I don't know exactly how to do it, and B, I feel like that ability is kind of unnecessary until you get it, you know, holistically through the game. There's no reason to rush it as far as I'm concerned. But we'll open this door at least. And I could light this bonfire, but I don't want to rest at it because then I would be stuck down here and have to make my way back out to the last bonfire. I would just keep on respawning in this awful place. I don't think I can kill this guy. I want to, because it would help me out later, but it wouldn't help me out that much. And I'm totally fucking dead. But anyway, we got a better shield than the one we are wielding, so we'll put that on. I believe it's better anyway. Let me check it out. So our current shield has only 65% physical damage reduction, 55 magic, 10 fire, 45 lightning, and a mere 30 stability. This one is, yeah, better in every single aspect, so we'll put that on, and that will be a little bit better until we get a more reasonable shield. Both of these are pretty bad, but hey, this one's at least useful. And again, we could use the Spyhonder, but I'm gonna ask for your guys' opinion in the comments, particularly people who have done a faith build before. What do you guys feel is a good occult weapon to use? And we're also, you know, before you say anything about just make a +15 weapon and then enchant it with Sunlight Blade, we're gonna have two different weapons, one +15 and one occult, and then, you know, use the Sunlight Blade on bosses and things like that. And if you are not a Dark Souls player, then I apologize for all of that nonsense that I just spouted. But later on you'll understand. Basically, Sunlight Blade is a spell that we can use to make our weapon better, but it doesn't work on enchanted weapons, so you have to just use a straight up weapon. So we're gonna go through both paths for sure, but I'm not sure what I want my primary weapon to be. Let's just kill this rat while we're over here. Get this soul of a lost undead. And now we'll go ahead and run through the sort of opening of the game. You know, that was kind of that like the stairs with all of the zombies all over it. That's kind of the first, like, here's how you deal with fighting groups of enemies that the game gives you, and it is hard. It takes a while to get used to that, because just one slip up and one of those zombies will totally fuck you up. Like, I think any of those zombies solo, if I had my shield down at the wrong time, could absolutely just end my life, like combo me to death. We're gonna go ahead and give that guy the old backstab and take out all these guys. And similarly, this group of zombies is difficult, but they're not as difficult because there is... I thought there was a drop in here. Is it in here? Huh. Maybe, am I just going crazy? I don't know. It's been a while since I've come through here. Yeah, it doesn't look like there's anything in there. Weird. Shit, what was I just talking about? I totally forget. Oh, it's in here. This is what I'm thinking of. But that group of zombies that we just killed was not quite as hard as the first one because there's no cliff for them to knock you off of. And there's a big fucking dragon, so that's something we'll have to deal with later on. Or, you know, not really, but, you know, we'll have to at least get past him later on. So let's bring these guys back over this way so we don't have to deal with being shot by an asshole with a crossbow while we kill them. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. That was 2 mistakes in quick succession. I'm going to drink a little bit of Estus here so we're at full health so we can't get comboed down as easily, because, you know, it's totally possible to die of attrition in Dark Souls, that is to say, just running out of healing. But more commonly what happens to you in Dark Souls is all of a sudden something will deal all of your health and you will die. So you can't be too obsessive about using Estus to keep yourself at full health, but most of the time, running out of Estus is not going to be your demise. It's just going to be like, oh, that dude just hit me 5 times in a row. Well, that fucking sucks. We got a wooden shield. I think that's actually better than the Caduceus round shield. Less magic, but far, far more physical resistance, and nothing is casting magic on us right now, so we'll definitely use that. Oh, fuck. So yeah, let's fight this guy, and then after this we'll reach our next bonfire, and I think that's going to be a pretty convenient place to end episode 1 of Dark Souls. Here we are, so we're gonna light this bitch up. We can rest, we can level up our faith one more time, I guess. I want to get 20 faith pretty quickly because there's a good spell that we'll get before too terribly long that requires 20 faith, so I want to work on that. But regardless, that's going to be the end of episode 1 of Dark Souls. Let me know what you guys think of this playthrough of Dark Souls, and give me build ideas. I want to do a faith-based build, and I've already kind of committed to that by putting a few points in it. But let me know what weapon you guys think would be good, what miracles you think I should use, and stuff like that, and we'll kind of work on this build together. I'm interested to see what ideas you guys have. If there's a weapon I can get soon, then let me know so I can pick it up. And otherwise, even if it's not a weapon I can get soon, we can always pick it up later and switch over to it. And in the meantime, I'll probably pick up the Uchigatana just because it's a good low-level sword. But anyway, thank you guys for watching, and I will see you guys in the next episode of Dark Souls.